Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution, Toyota, Supra, Honda, NSX, Nissan, Skyline. These are all perfect examples of sought-after JDM icons of the automotive world. However, there's a problem. If you don't have enough dough, you're not going to get anywhere near those cars. So I've got a proposition for you. The Mazda Miata, a JDM icon that you can afford while on a budget. This particular example is a 1999 Miata, meaning it hails from the second generation. The Miata has been an automotive icon since its introduction to the scene in 1989. This is due to the Miata's fun factor, a convertible, lightweight two-seater with agility that surpasses a mouse and the reliability of a workhorse. You see, small two-seat British roadsters of old were constantly breaking down due to their lackluster reliability. Instead of being out on British B-roads, they were stuck in mucky garages. So, Mazda decided to make a British roadster of their own, only it had to actually work, and be able to be hooned around in for hundreds of thousands of miles. Thus, the Miata was born, and it's put literally every other small roadster out of production. It's reasonably priced as well, so any common working man or woman can afford one. I'd say then that for these reasons, the Miata is the perfect entry-level sports car. So, I decided to find out how much truth is in that statement. So when you get inside of the Mazda Miata, you'll notice just how barren it is in here. I mean, there's absolutely nothing. I mean, you've got your basic amenities, you've got your radio, CD changer, it's got air conditioning, but you buy one of these cars, that's not what you care about. So what you care about is the driving experience. This car does have a shortened knob on the shifter. It reduces the height a couple of millimeters and it makes the throws feel a bit more precise. You do also have this nice aftermarket Sparco steering wheel. It's nice flat bottom, allows me to be comfortable in the car without having my knees scrape up against the bottom of the stock steering wheel. It also has a nice 25 millimeter decrease in the diameter. It makes for getting in and out of the car quite easy. So, how does it feel to actually drive the Mazda Miata? Oh yes! You may remember my friend Dan here.
What's up?
He's the owner of that 2018 Focus ST, so if you want to go check that video out, I will leave the link below. It's not a lot of power, but for a car this light, you don't necessarily need that much power. Dan, would you mind telling the viewers a little bit about your car here?
Yeah, it's pretty much bone stock, 1999 Mazda Miata, NB second generation. All I have done to it, I redid the brakes, got some slotted rotors. I have a smaller steering wheel because the stock Nardi steering wheel was hitting my knee. It wasn't very comfortable. I also have the door bushings, which make the car a hell of a lot stiffer with the top off. You can't really call it a short shifter, but it's a shift knob that pretty much the shifter arm goes all the way to the top of it, so it's technically a short shifter.
Okay.
I mean, I did a soft top delete. I have some Kosei KTS 1s wrapped in some Nitto NT01s. Real sticky tires. It's really hard to break them loose.
Now, Dan, tell us a little bit about the story behind this car. How did you acquire it?
So, my biggest, sorry about that, radar detector all over the
Take two. Dan, would you mind telling the viewers a little bit how you acquired this car?
My thing was, you know, when I was in second grade, Need for Speed Underground 2 just came out, GameCube, played the hell out of that game, and, you know, the starting car was NB Miata. And I was like, oh shoot, this is a cute little car. I just sort of grew fond of it, found out that one of my cousins actually raced spec Miata, and that my uncle, who had this car, I saw it sitting in his garage for 15 years, and a couple years ago, I finally asked him, I was like, hey, when are you gonna sell me your Miata? And he was like, you wanna know what? I'm moving down to Florida. I don't drive it a lot. I'll sell it to you right now. I was like, all right, sounds good.
You really have to work for the power. 7,200 RPM red line. The steering in this vehicle is so accurate. Downshift. There is a bit of body roll. Just goes. It has 50-50 weight distribution, and as Thanos would say, it's perfectly balanced, as all things should be. You're only really going to be making about 140 horsepower out of this 1.8 liter, naturally aspirated inline 4, but it really doesn't matter when you consider how lightweight this car is. And that's the thing about this car. It's a sports car where when you find a nice curvy road, you can open it up and have a lot of fun in it. The ride on this car is surprisingly soft. It's softer than it is in my Celica. You can literally daily drive this car despite its small size. It only runs on regular gasoline, so gas is cheap, it's quiet, it's comfortable, you've got a decent sized boot, and in this case, you've got a removable top. Alright Dan, I've got a confession. I'm starting to fall in love with your car.
Yeah? You're starting to feel like a second grade me.
My inner child that was obsessed with all of those racing games as a kid is coming out. And that's really like the characteristic of this car. The simplicity of this car is why so many people love it. There's a very playful character to it. It's very balanced, it's very easy to drive. I think it makes it like the perfect sports car for those who are getting into that area, if you will. It's also perfect for modifications.
And that's the thing, is that, you can take this thing out to an autocross, you can take this thing out to a track day, not a lot of experience, you can get your bearings around the car. Or if you really want to dedicate yourself to this platform, you can go deep into it, and you can go spec Miata. There's plenty of racing leagues for this car if you want to dedicate yourself to this platform and make yourself a really good driver with it.
And Dan brings up a good point, because the Miata is a fantastic car in factory spec, but what makes it so desirable is its ability to be repurposed for different driving situations. These cars are converted into drag cars, drift cars, autocross cars, rally cars. The list could continue for days. My point is this: the Miata is a wonderful car to buy if you want a small, fun, easy-to-use sports car. Its nimble chassis allows for quick, responsive handling. For that reason, I think it is the perfect entry-level sports car. It's not the fastest in a straight line or around the track, but that can be resolved with the modifications, and that's the real party piece of this vehicle. It's so versatile when it comes to modding that you can spec your car out to be a truly unique, one-of-a-kind masterpiece, or a nightmarish monster that lives under the bed. Or perhaps you'll just leave it stock. Either way, you're in for a treat, and I highly recommend this car to anyone who is looking for a sports car on a budget.